A very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us here at Gotland's Soldiers' Home, and of course also to those of you following our seminars online. My name is Andreas Philipsson and I represent the Swedish Soldiers' Home Association. We are so proud and delighted to welcome our friends from YMCA Lviv here to Gotland Soldiers' Home. During the first seminar, we will hear their personal stories of the war and discuss the importance of writing for understanding your own experiences, apart from telling the world. These stories of defenders will be translated to Swedish and published in the fall in an anthology, deeply moving stories of enormous strength, courage, and belief in a free Ukraine. Following a short break, this seminar will be followed by a longer panel discussion featuring, amongst others, the Ukrainian ambassador and the archbishop. The theme of the discussion in that seminar is the veteran, an essential resource for the reconstruction of a war-torn society. Immediately afterwards, we invite you to join us for mingling, where we hope the exchange of ideas and experience will continue, and where new bonds of friendship can be formed between people and nations. Before I invite our moderator, Lisa Mobrant, to the stage, I would also like to briefly mention the emergency exits. We have two evacuation routes. The main entrance facing Klintorget in that direction, and the second exit through the door located between the pink and grey buildings leading onto Östra Tullgränd. Once again, warm welcome to all of you. And with that, I'm pleased to hand over to you, Lisa.
So thank you and welcome to all our guests sitting here at the Soldiers' Home, but also welcome to all our guests listening in and watching the streaming. My name is Lisa Mobrant. I am a board member of the Swedish Home Association Central Board, and I'm also Army Chaplain. In this seminar, we'll meet Ukrainian defenders and people from the YMCA in Lviv and hear about the project, Stories of Defenders. And to begin this seminar, I think it's important to talk about the concept of veterans. When we talk about veterans in Sweden so far, we mostly mean people who either joined the Swedish Armed Forces voluntarily to deploy abroad for a period of time, and mainly in UN and NATO missions, or like the latest 15 years at least, military officers and employed soldiers in the Swedish Armed Forces who as part of their ordinary duty, go away with their, the ordinary squad or their unit for a longer time. And that means that most Swedish veterans has a previous soldier identity and experience of the military as well. And Swedish veterans usually went to meet war and unrest in foreign countries before going home to peaceful Sweden. And the Soldiers' Home Association, we have previously released some seminars and written material written about this soldier and veteran identity. And a lot of those written materials is mainly about the adjustment issues that can occur when a soldier comes home to a very peaceful society that does not understand the experience of the soldier. The Russian war on Ukraine has shattered many perceptions about who a defender is, what motivates a defender, and also the illusion about civilians and society not being targets in war. And many Ukrainian defenders are civilians, sometimes with some military experience, but a lot of times with little previous military experience, who left their jobs and way of life to defend their families and country. And among them are also many artists, teachers, activists, who, having participated in the war for freedom, have unique experience and use their previous knowledge and previous skills to give us insights about life and death. And today we have 4 Ukrainian friends here, Alexandra, Lesha, Ihor, Sorjana, and Jurko, and also Philip from Danish YMCA, and also the project Volja. And instead of me presenting you, I would like for you to tell us a bit about yourself, who you were before the war, and what role you have played in the war. Who would like to start?
Maybe me.
Yeah, Jurko.
I graduated political science, like Lesa, in Lviv National University, and from years, more than 15 years, I was culture manager. I was manager of big jazz festival, of contemporary art, and political scientist. I know value of freedom, and I can understood what can happen if society lose freedom. Culture manager, I understood power of art and how art can healing people. After the first invasion, Russian soldiers in Ukraine in 2014, I have a decision to go on front line to defend our people and our lands. And after full-scale invasion in 2022, I go to frontline to the army one more time, but after having endured, I return to culture and go on my culture way and of helping my friends and another combatants, another veterans to rebuild their lives, to social rehabilitation, social reintegration and rehabilitation, and established with Lesa and with one another our friend who is killed by Russians, who was on philosophy faculty in Lviv National University. We established this project, Stories of Defenders.
Sorry?
Hello, everybody. But I speak in Ukrainian because my English very interesting, and
I will help you with that.
My name is Зоряна Гребенюк-Кобенко, but my artistic name Zoza. I'm Zoza. Я навчалася в Львівському медичному університеті, і в мене була військова кафедра, тому я маю звання офіцера.
So Zoza here, she studied medicine, and as a medical student, she also had an officer courses, and she had a military rank, an officer, due to her studies.
Але після завершення медичного університету моє життя так склалося, що я теж працювала в сфері культури.
After she finished studying medicine, her life took a curve, and she started to work in the cultural sector.
Я також працювала як арт-менеджер і робила великі фестивалі міжнародні, і працювала на Держкіно України і як художниця-постановниця.
So Zoza was doing art festival, a big art festival. She also worked with the movies, with Ukrainian National Movie Academy and Division. And she was preparing different art exhibitions as well as an artist.
Так, і ще я скажу, що я мала саму скандальну у Львові галерею.
And she had the most scandal art gallery in Lviv.
Але на початку повномасштабної війни я перших півроку працювала на Лікарі без кордонів медицинського факультету, і пізніше з осені 22-го пішла у військо як медик.
When the full-scale invasion happened, Zoza first joined Doctors Without Borders organization to help them, and then later on in the fall, in half a year, she joined the military, the army.
Ну і в армії, тобто я була начальником медичної служби бригади.
In the army, she was the head of the medical service of one of the big brigades.
Я звільнилася, тобто я прослужила 3,5 роки.
And 3.5 years Zoza was having this position.
Звільнилася 3 місяці тому, і зараз тільки повертаюся якби до якогось і соціального, і культурного життя. І от завдяки якби цій подорожі це теж один з цих моментів, які мені
Only
допомагає.
3 months ago, Zoza was left the army and became a veteran. So she is a fresh veteran, and she's just learning how to come back to the civilian life. And this trip here is one of her steps on the road to the civilian life.
Thank you.
Igor.
Igor?
Great for everyone, and I will use my draft to be more accuracy. My name Igor and surname Dusan. I'm a veteran of Russian-Ukrainian war, and I worked like a teacher in secondary school and in the middle school. Before the war, I was educational organizer in school, and I had second and third class with little kid, and I was their class master, you know. Great. When Russia launched a full-scale invasion, and I, like many ordinary Ukrainians, I joined to defense of my country. I was not a professional soldier, and I was never so a gun or sorry, I forget the word. Yeah.
In Ukrainian.
No, I continued. Sorry. I was a teacher who became a soldier because my family, my home, and my country needed protection. We changed our understanding of life. It taught me how fragile life can be, but also how strong people become when they fight for something they love. Yeah, of course, I use musical instrument, and of course, also I'm a musician, and an artist, maybe. Yeah, that's all about me. Thank you.
And Leslie, would you like to say something about yourself before the war and now?
Just few words. Yeah, before the war, I was also in the art management and education. I have a PhD. I was a professor at the university, thinking this is my life. But in 2014, when the war actually started, we had before the Revolution of Dignity, and that's when it all changed for me. And I started to work more with art projects, and later on we got the first veterans from this 2014 war. So we started to think with Jurko again how to make some rehab programs, how to help our friends who are getting back to start on with their dreams, with their ideas. Mm-hmm. So that's how in the YMCA the veteran work started. And I'm not a veteran. I never been in the army. I am what we call the war volunteer. So the one who is helping the veterans and helping the army in the way we can as civilians. So in a nutshell, this is my story.
Mm-hmm. And we will shortly come back to YMCA Lviv. And of course, we know this answer, but I also think it's very important to ask the question, why is literature and art a good way to actually reach and support you as veterans? What can we approach, what can we reach with the art and literature that we cannot, accomplish with anything else?
Ну, можливо, я перше скажу.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe me first, but this not simply things, and I ask Lesa to help me with translation. І насамперед література, можливість писати, надає змісту твоєму пережитому досвіду. Тому що коли ти розказуєш про свій досвід, ти ним ділишся, ти даєш можливість іншим стати кращими людьми, і те, що ти пережив, є твоїм здобутком, а не лишається в тобі травмою.
Of course, saying that first of all, the literature and writing as a practice is bringing sense to the experiences you had before. So through this reflection, it helps you to share what you lived through. It helps other people to join to it and hopefully become a little bit better people. But it also helps you not to keep a trauma to yourself, but to put it out and make it make a sense out of all the experience you had.
Ну, і воно допомагає іншим людям ставати кращими. Це робиться там твоїм здобутком.
And when the other people are becoming a little bit better versions of themselves, you can feel it's something that you achieved as well.
Ти розумієш, що все, що з тобою відбулося на війні, всі незручності, весь страх, весь біль, всі втрати, які ти відчув, вони не даремні.
And that's how you understand that all what happened with you at war, all the fear, all the discomfort, all the loss of close people, all the pain, it wasn't for nothing. It has a meaning.
Вони можуть стати ліками для інших.
And all this can be a medicine, a cure for other people.
І наш проект побудований так, що ми робимо збірки, 10 ветеранів пишуть історію, інші 10 ветеранів начитують їх на аудіо.
And the architecture of our project is so 10 veterans are writing their stories and another 10 veterans are helping to turn them into audio books.
І таким чином ті, що начитують, мають можливість проговорити дуже важливий для себе досвід, але не влізаючи у свою травму.
And the guys, the veterans who are making the audio, who are making voices, it's also an opportunity for them to talk about what they lived through, but not from their own story and their own experience, but just through the experience of other people that they feel related to. They feel very close to what they had lived through themselves.
Багато із наших і авторів, і акторів озвучення є захисниками і захисницями, які на війні втратили свої руки чи ноги, чи взагалі важко поранені. І можливість, але в них лишився голос, і в них лишився їх досвід. Власне, те, що є основою їх.
We also work, the veteran in Ukraine means you were heavily wounded. Otherwise, it's difficult. So most of our authors, they are heavily wounded. So they either lost their legs or hands, or they were injured, or something happened. And to give a voice to a story is about the power. It's about healing and becoming important and something you can really feel, you can really do.
Окрім того, цей проект має ще дуже багато бенефітів в інших аспектах, як і те, що ветерани, які, окрім того, що вони отримують літературні скіли і можуть займатися літературою, окрім того, що їхнє середовище, коли вони дарують свої книжки, їм знов починає їх цінувати. Окрім того, що ми також, таким чином вони теж вертаються в соціальне життя. Окрім цього всього, ми маємо можливість перекладати наші новели на інші мови і розказувати про нас іншим ветеранам в цілому світі, яких ми вважаємо своїми братами і сестрами.
And Jurko is saying that, of course, it's very good because you are getting your writing skills, the door to the social life is opening. It's very sensitive and pleasant moment to give your book to your friends and to present it. So presentation is also a part of it. And also to have the stories translated into different languages in the world and to share it with the veterans and army soldiers of different countries whom we treat as our brothers and sisters in arms.
Про свої досвіди, можливо, Зоза і Ігор теж мають додати, чим було для них цінна участь.
And Jurko is saying Zoza and Ihor, they have personal experiences, so more personal they can add to it. Sure.
Ihor, would you like to say something about?
Yeah, okay. When I was in Donetsk region, I felt sorry about my old life. My life where I was. I thought I wasn't left any memories about me, any items of me and about me. And it was very, very sorry for me because I haven't printed in Ukrainian history. And this novel helped me make that. When I become to school, we have one event for our heroes, and one director of History Museum told me you need to write your story. After her, some people repeat this for me, and I decided to make it. Now I have my print in history, and I'm ready make new breakthrough for our future. Thanks.
Yeah. And Sosa, of course, it's scandalous to ask a gallerist about what art means in war, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Розумієш, то скандально.
Так. Ну, також я як була в Миколаївській, тобто це на півдні України і на Сході, то це якби, зазвичай це якби таке там, наприклад, медична рота. Тобто ми всі закриті в одному приміщенні, але кожен в собі, і ні з ким так сильно не поговориш, бо все одно якби це служба.
So they're saying I was deployed in the south and then in the east, and you can imagine it's a medical division, so we are a little bit closed, and even if we are together, it's not like we are sharing some stories or we are talking deeply with each other. We are not. Everyone is within themselves.
Так, і оскільки близькі люди десь далеко, або їх взагалі немає на цьому світі, але щось висловити сильно хочеться, то я почала робити такі короткі, ніби як, тобто це щоденник, тобто я говорила сама з собою.
And the dear people, the close to you people, they are far away, and some of them are not alive anymore. And Zoza lost her husband, and she said, I need to talk somehow, and the way I can talk to myself. So she was writing this diary with the small notes in it to talk to herself.
І коли Юрко сказав про цей проект і можливість написати якісь свої спогади, я також використала ці частини щоденників. Я не думала, що це комусь буде цікаво, крім мене, але виявилося, що це цікаво, і тому це дуже класний досвід. Та то, що казав Юрко, що коли ти ділишся, воно виявляється потрібно не тільки тобі.
And Zoza is saying it was surprising because when Yurko challenged me and said, you need to share, you need to write something, and she had these diaries of her, and she was sure that no one would be interested in this writing that she did, but she listened to Yurko and she made a story out of these little notes, and it was a big surprise that so many people feel related and that it matters for so many people to read it.
Yeah. And this compilation is actually soon coming out in Swedish, Stories of Defenders. And the Swedish Soldiers Home Association are working on also recording and giving this, these stories life in Swedish. But you, Jurko, as an instigator of this project in many ways, Stories of Defenders, what do you think is important to understand for Swedes when reading these stories?
Чого важливо?
Що шведи мають зрозуміти, читаючи ці історії?
Всі наші історії ми об'єднуємо за одною темою. В нас є тема для всіх наших оцих коротких історій. Це тема чуда, перемоги життя над смертю, яке трапляється і яке дуже добре видно саме на війні.
Jurko is saying the stories are not a random pick. They have a joint topic, a joint theme, philosophical theme that goes through all of them. And it's about a miracle of a life winning over death. And this miracle can be witnessed especially close at the war.
В одних наших авторів, в одного автора це історія про те, як він перший в своєму житті великий артилерійський обстріл просидів у підвалі із маленьким цуценятком на руках, і він відчував, що він є захисником життя ще меншого, ніж в нього.
One of our authors, and he's very young man, and it was the first artillery attack that he had to survive, and he had to hide very underground, of course, in a basement, and he found a little doggy there, and he felt the doggy is very afraid, and he felt very responsible for this little animal, for this little creature, and that's his memory, how fragile life is, but how he felt alive under this threat.
Наші дівчата-медики пишуть про свої перші виїзди і про перших врятованих ними людей, солдатів, і про те, як вони переживали, чи вони зможуть врятувати інше життя, і як чудом були врятовані.
And our medical friends, they are writing about their first deployments and their first evacuation, and how they invested in saving life of the first soldiers that they worked on, and how it was important for them to save this life, and how they were worried about what will happen to a person, and if they equipped enough, if they trained enough, if they will manage to deliver this duty, and how fragile, how sensitive the life is.
Багато хлопців присвячують свої новели своїм загиблим друзям, розповідаючи про те, якими яскравими особистостями вони були, і дякуючи їм за те, що вони були в їхньому житті. Це теж як форма подяки.
Many veterans, they write a lot about their brothers and sisters in arms who died. And this is the way to say thank you to them. And this is the way to remember them. And this is the way to remember them by a story they can tell. So by the story they probably would want to be remembered.
Like a written memorial of...
Yeah.
Ми робимо цей проект, ці збірки новел для того, щоб ви, і не тільки ви, а люди в цілому світі розуміли, наскільки сильним і тендітним може бути життя водночас, і що його треба бути готовим захищати, що воно не дається просто так, і що ми мусимо брати участь у захисті життя.
And we write the stories and we translate them, so you would also join us in this witnessing how strong, but at the same time how fragile the life is. And that the life is not something just given and staying there, it needs to be protected. And how important it is to protect it so it can be.
Для Швеції і для шведських ветеранів це теж можливість нагадати собі, і щоб шведське суспільство розуміло потрібність захисників, вагу захисників і ту повагу, яку вони мають мати, ту місію і ту повагу, яку вони мають мати в суспільстві, щоб їхнє суспільство теж нагадало собі про вагу ветеранів.
For Swedish society, it also can be very important to put a value into veterans and into their services and understand why it's important and to give a respect to what the veterans done and how important their duty is for the whole society to feel protected.
Це важливо нам в сучасному світі розуміти, що загрози реальні, що це не казка, і що ми маємо всі відповідальність за збереження життя і свободи.
In modern world, it's again very important for us to understand that the threat is not in a fairy tale.
Yeah.
The villain is not written, it's real. And we all need to take part in defense, and we all need to pay respect and be thankful to people who are there to defend.
Thank you. So, YMCA Lviv, I'm ashamed as a Swede to actually say that the Danish came first. And Lesha and Philip, would you like to tell us a bit about YMCA Lviv and Volya and how you actually came to be involved, Philip?
Of course. Well, YMCA Lviv was established by students because we wanted to do actually what we are doing now. We wanted to bring nice people from Lviv to international platforms. It wasn't given. We were in post-Soviet world where not everything is easy. Half of us didn't speak even English, and that was for purpose. So we decided we want to be more as Europeans. You know, you do something very interesting here, we want to be a part of it. Now we are, but it took time, you know. And we were doing like small things like that. But after the Revolution of Dignity, it was a turning point. We realized we need to do something more. We need to do something that is important for us because we are facing the war, but it's a bit not clear for everyone what it is. It's also not clear how to act. We fight it for the freedom. We got it at Revolution of Dignity, but freedom is a big thing to operate with. Mm-hmm. You suddenly have it. You're not sure what to do with it, right? You want it. You protect for it, but then you need to do something about it. So the first veteran program we did in YMCA Lviv, we had this nice, beautiful idea that we can just borrow some idea and implement it in Lviv. Everything will happen nice. So we decided, let's rescue our veterans. They are back. Let us make some, rescue team, activists. And we started, and we thought maybe some business would help them. We didn't ask at that time. We were very sure we know what to do. And we decided that all our veterans, for some strange reasons, would do a wooden chairs. And that would be a rehab, the wooden chairs would help them to... They even started, they realized wooden chairs and veterans doesn't come handy.
Not even artful wooden chairs.
No, the business out of it is very suspicious if it will ever happen. Yeah. But what happened out, they started to do this huge wooden doll. Mm-hmm. And then we did a festival with it. It was Derevianko. It was moving like this. We were afraid it will kill half of the participants of the seminar, so we had to do some, strength out of it. But we made this huge wooden doll. We made some kind of events. We decided to do the networking. Mm-hmm. And that's when we learned the key thing. It wasn't about the doll. It was about that we need to ask veterans what they want. Better leave it in their hands. Mm-hmm. And with this sort of knowledge, we moved on. That's how we decided to work with Jurko more. And then this question that Jurko already mentioned, the question of Zoza, the question of memory. Mm-hmm. We realized we lost our friends on the front line. We don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. We're also not ready to, how it to do. And one of our friends, he was an opera singer, Vasil Slipak. Mm-hmm. He was singing in Paris opera. He was very famous, very popular with women. He could live his, the best life everyone could dream of. But then he started to be war volunteer. I know what it is. I've been in this role. And then he felt it's not enough, so he went to the front line and was killed by Russian sniper. And so we organized with our friends, and we made this opera myth, Ukraine Terra Incognita, to honor Vasily as we wanted to honor him. We wanted the Ukrainian opera with Ukrainian songs tell his story in a language he would understand. And that's what we were doing. We were super busy. We made the opera in tram depot because we couldn't rent an opera house for all our rehearsals. So we rehearsal in a tram depot, and then we bring all of it to the opera house. But for this, we learned how to network. And that was veterans mostly who helped us to do it, because it was very obvious what we are doing and we obviously understand we are about art. We can feel this language, we can speak it. So when the full-scale invasion happened, again, these guys went to the front line. Luckily, they were not volunteers like before, because before they were volunteers, so they were not even a real army. Just the people who volunteered to fight with all the law collisions after it, right? Now, at least they are in real army, but anyway, some of them don't have shoes, so they still have the number of shoes they would need. Some of them don't have helmets, some of them don't have tourniquets. And so here we are again as a humanitarian support, and not only humanitarian, military was not support to our friends there. And then the veterans started to come. And we faced this idea that many of our friends, we lost even more friends. We need to speak about it. We need to be serious about how we memorize. Otherwise, it will overwhelm us.
Yeah.
So the stories of defenders is a survival mechanism for all of us to remember, to understand.
Yeah. And time is, as always, running away from us. But we need to come back to the question. Since the Danish people went ahead of us and actually, took the time to find this project and make sure it started, is there something you would like, to tell the Swedes about lessons learned, these challenges, but also the opportunities of, engaging in such a project?
I think everything comes down to friendship in many ways. There are two reasons, I think, why we are here. I basically grew up in a soldier's home with my parents being leaders. I spent my youth in politics. And then suddenly, I think I visited Ukraine more than 15 years ago, and we've done all kind of projects, right? And then the full-scale war happened. And as a person, you have been going around talking about your Christian values, about European solidarity. And then there's war in Europe again. So for you to not do something, that's simply not an option, I think, because I think I'm a person before I'm a Dane or a Swede or anything else. So Ukraine's war is our war. That's the start. That's the starting point. And then so being engaged with Ukraine and having friends, I felt it was very natural to ask the Danish YMCA Armed Services, the Danish Soldier Home Organization, to come and help give birth to something, some veteran projects. And at the same time, the Danish Soldier Home Organization were asked to make a pop-up soldier home in Skrydstrup with the F-16 pilots being there. So again, my Ukrainian friends helped me to decorate the soldier home there for the Ukrainians, training for the F-16, and vice versa. We were helping to set up. So this started like this, and then I think states help states, right? F-16s can be bought by the Danish state, and Sweden can do something else with Gripen, and businesses can help businesses. But people help people in civil society, and this is where we see each other. And I think that's very important. It might not be as effective as a F-16, but politics change. We know this. So if you don't make those connections and friendship, and this is where civil society can act and do things, and we can become friends, because
we have to be honest, it's often by friendship, new projects come. And then we invented a new organization that can help be that bridge. Because maybe the Soldier Home organization in Denmark didn't have experience in being in Ukraine. And the same here, we invited, and I think it's a good example. I'm not just saying it because we're standing here with the logo and Soldier Home.
No.
But it was a very good example of an organization who want to do and act and help what they could. So to go to Ukraine, to invite people here, to meet all Soldier Home leaders, I think that's the beginning. And I think that's a very good point, that you can really, you can start with small things and it can grow. So the importance of civil society also to be more flexible than we know that some state solutions can be sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it's a very important lesson for us in Sweden as well, because the Danish and Swedish concept of the veteran, but also society is fairly similar, as well as civil society. In the book Stories of Defenders, which we are translating now, you can read the story from Ihor, for instance, but also the story from Zosa. And I've had the privilege of doing that already. Other people have to wait for a while to do that. And I think one very important thing for us to understand is also, of course, that maybe we forget in Nordic peaceful societies that the war affects the entire society, even though you don't call yourself a veteran. I would still consider you a veteran in many ways because the entire society is affected by the war. And also I think it's important to know that means that maybe the entire society might need rehabilitation or, these kind of stories, which means in many ways that you are also helping healing the entire society by your stories. But if you want to send a word to us, towards the end of our seminar, what kind of, what would you like to ask from us as a way of keeping up your hope and the hope of the entire Western world, in this conflict? What do you ask from us when it comes to, supporting you in, in sharing your stories?
Це чим вони можуть нам допомогти?
Чим вони можуть нам допомогти, що ми чекаємо від них, щоб допомогти?
Насамперед, що ми хочемо вас попросити, це більше надавати уваги історії Швеції, більше думати про ті зусилля, які доклали ваші попередні покоління, щоб ви мали демократичне, вільне, добре забезпечене суспільство і цінувати ту свободу, яку ви маєте завдяки вашим попереднім поколінням, завдяки вашим батькам.
Jyrko is saying, first of all, learn your history and be thankful to what the previous generations did. So you guys can enjoy your freedom, you can enjoy democracy, you can enjoy values, you can enjoy the set of the society you have now. And you would understand what was paid by them, so this can be here now experienced.
І бути готовими захищати свою країну, тому що нам дуже для нас, які воюють, дуже важливо, щоб десь у світі була вільна країна, де люди живуть нормальним життям.
And be ready, always be ready to protect your country, because for us, as for the people who are fighting for our own existence and for our own country, for us it's very important that there is a country with democratic values that is living a good democratic life, that it exists, that is not anymore, that is not ruined, right? That it's a reality.
Звичайно, ми дякуємо за Грифіни, за всю підтримку збройну, яку ви надаєте Україні. І це справді найважливіше, тому що воно дозволяє нам бути живими, і можливість створити такі проекти, як наш.
And Jurko is saying, and I would second that. Thank you for Griffins, and thank you for all the military support you provide, because it helps us to be here and be alive,
Well,
and
no,
that's
thank
not
you.
a metaphor. And we just want to encourage you to support us so much. And I would just add, it's a pleasure to know that despite of the huge political debates, you are united in helping us.
Thank you.
It matters a lot, and we just want to encourage you to continue doing that.
І для нас, а найважливіше для нас, щоб ви цікавились тим, що відбувається в Україні, і розповідали іншим цивільним друзям своїм про Україну. Тому що найважливіше теж в міжнародному плані нашого проекту це єдине, чим ми можемо протистояти російській пропаганді, підкріпленій нафтодоларами, нафтовими грошима, не доларом. Нафтовими грошима – це чесне спілкування від людини до людини.
And the request from us is to be curious about Ukraine, try to learn about Ukraine, try to get to know what's going on in Ukraine on the front line, on the surface, and try to spread the word, because the resources of the propaganda supported by the oil is enormous. So the only thing we can stay against it is real people with real stories and real messages that we can provide.
You wanted to...
У нас є 2 сайти із перекладом наших новел англійською мовою. Ви можете зайти почитати англійською і данською. Сподіваємося, що також буде шведською. І сподіваємося, що хтось із вас допоможе нам із аудіоначиткою, і з поширенням майбутньої книжки, яка буде, і підтримкою нашого проекту загалом.
And Jurko is saying that we already have on the website the stories in Danish and English, and we are preparing the Swedish one, and we are inviting Swedish veterans to join the party and to help us with some audio creation and presentations as well.
And you can read more about this on our homepage. But Ior, would you like to finish?
Yeah, one time I asked one old teacher about one advice, and he told me, that advice was about what is the main skill for people. And the main skill for people is shore and shoring. And I think you must become like a teachers and share our stories, your stories, and our together common ground in the history.
Thank you.
For the future. Thank you.
So by sharing your stories, you are actually helping us understand better how we can protect each other, and our common ideals of democracy and freedom. Thank you for coming today. And pretty soon we will move over to the next seminar, which is a more strategic view on this entire, collaboration. Thank you very much, and Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава!